If we move to just absolute complete apathy, we've lost such a fundamental part of who we are as Americans.
If we don't vote, we won't see the change we want. We will be just silently complaining. That's not a democracy.
We're gonna be like the largest voting class by 2020. I know people are scared to talk about their views, but we have to. Like, it's really important for our society to just like move past that.
So the Wide Awakes were a group of youth activists who really mobilized to get Abraham Lincoln elected in 1860. They started out as a group that were working as bodyguards for people who were helping to campaign for Lincoln.
It wasn't very normal for women at this time to be out in the public for their beliefs, so it was generally young men who were a part of the Wide Awakes.
They participated in midnight rallies. They dressed in military attire and they marched along the streets with torches.
And they're so popular that even their opponents start organizing basically the same equivalent for their parties. And it becomes this arms race of who can get the bigger marches and who can get more young people involved.
So the coverage of the time described the Wide Awake movement as one that was viral, because this was something that was out of the ordinary and that really got people talking.
Their tactics and their ideas and their way of protesting were passed down, were repeated later on through history.
They were really iconic and they really helped Abraham Lincoln get elected.
The 2018 midterm elections, youth voting numbers were up to 30%.
And it was a huge increase compared to like 2014 when they did the data for that election.
We shouldn't assume that how people vote today is how they've always voted. They used to get 70 and 80% voter turnout in the 19th century.
And when we're talking about youth voting, we're talking about the age demographic from age 18 through 29.
An organization called Circle did a survey on youth engagement in politics.
And it was data about how 34% of young voters were saying that they were extremely likely and extremely engaged in the newest election.
We still have a long ways to go because that number is still significantly less than your average number for the population. And so we need to keep taking additional steps to get those voters engaged.
The tactics the Wide Awakes used was definitely worked for their time period.
It was kind of amazing to think that they just started off as a small group of people just protesting in their streets at midnight, and then it spread across America to 100,000 people.
It's the mindset, the spirit, and the passion,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
all there. That's carried the same throughout every generation. It's just the technology that's evolved, but the end goal, the reason why, that's all stayed the same.
I feel like now I'm seeing more people talking about politics on social media.
With the March for Our Lives, that was a really inspirational
Yeah.
march because that was organized by teenagers. They came out here. There were millions of people in DC. That's crazy that teenagers could organize that.
Adults talk about how we're so into our phones and so into social media. And yes, there's negative aspects, but at the same time, there are also so many positive ones, especially when it comes to politics, because that's how we join together as a community and join together all across the world to fight.
I don't understand how other people don't believe that we have a voice. We have the numbers and we have social media.
And I feel if you're trying to find the perfect time to get involved, that time is now.
People tell me you're only 16, you're just a teenager, stop focusing about other stuff. People think it's the older generation will take care of it, they'll fix it. But it's it's our future.
People continuously just putting you down of, oh, you're too young for this, you're too young for that.
I think we need to take this oh, we are too young, and we need to use that. Yeah, we're young. We know how to use the internet. We can use social media. We can get out there. We are educated. We have all the resources.
So I am so excited for 2020, especially this is such an exciting time to be my first time voting and to be able to see how everything's shaping up. I could dork about this for hours. I'm so excited.
I'm so happy for you because I can't vote in 2020. I can't. So I'm so into it, but I'm so sad because I'm so jealous.